Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadaatatam Bhuvi Grinanti Ye Bhurida Janaha Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, your gospel is like nectar and bliss, showered upon the pain-stricken lives of suffering humanity. It dispels all sins and misdeeds, bringing spiritual welfare to life. Spiritual beauty, prosperity and grace flow through those who listen to your holy message. Truly generous are those who preach and share the nectar of your message with suffering humanity. Om peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So we are reading the Gospel of Ramakrishna. We are on page 148. And we are in the middle of discussion. Sri Ramakrishna meeting with the Brahmo devotees. Brahmo devotees, they are ingrained into the idea they don't like the worship of the icons or symbolic worship of the gods and goddesses, being influenced by the Christian ideals of that time, which was prevalent in Calcutta. So he accepted that idea that every young man was revolting against any worship of the deities. But here came Ramakrishna, a unique personality who didn't know anything but called that idol as mother. And he cried. He didn't read philosophy, nothing. Just it's a unique phenomena in the history of spiritual traditions, that the whole perspective of India was now revolting against this murti, this image worship. Image worship is worship of stone and image that has nothing to do with spirituality. It is all lower steps of sadhana, and fools, or those who have very poor knowledge in spirituality, they go to worship the stone. Shivalingam is a stone. Hindus are worshipping a stone, a tree, a photograph, an image of Ma Durga, Ma Kali. This has no meaning in it. And whereas Sri Ramakrishna, without knowing anything, he started from that worshipping a mother, which is an image. And that is the confluence. Now it is the confluence of East and West. So this question is our question also in the modern time. We all put the same question again and again. Brahmo devotee is asking, Sir, has God forms or has he none? Normal concept, God is infinite, that's okay. How can God be like us? And where he sits in the heaven. Where is that heaven? So these are so many questions. Saguna Brahma, Nirguna Brahma, that concept was conflicting conflict. If it is Nirguna, how can it be Saguna? If it is formless, infinite, how can it be again form? This conflict remains even to our intelligent mind also. If it is infinite, beginningless, endless, how that can take a human form or in a form of gods and goddesses? And we are also formed. How that one can be many? This question remains. So, regarding worshipping God in the form or formless aspect, this conflict is being solved here. So, Sri Ramakrishna's response was that no one can say with finality that God is only this and nothing else. God is only Nirakara Nirguna, formless and infinite, timeless, spaceless, only that and not any other thing. You cannot say that. That means whatever you say, by defining something, you are limiting the truth. So Sri Ramakrishna says, no one can say in finality that God is only this and nothing else. He is formless. Again, he has form. So he, she, this terminology is all confusing. Where is he, she in God? But we say it is he, it is she. She, the aspect of the divinity is projecting that aspect of love and compassion. Someone say God as father, someone say mother. So, no, he is in one sense formless. Again, he has forms. But the form is for whom? For the bhaktas. Devotees like to set a relationship with God. God is my father. God is my master. God is my friend. God is my companion. I am the child of God. So relations, so that we can easily, in life's turmoil, high philosophy goes away over the head. When migraine starts, when health hazard comes, we feel in pain and suffering. God, Brahman, goes away, only remains, oh my mother, oh ma, oh Lord, please help me. No? So this is the point where we can reconcile. Why the personal God is necessary? Because we are personal. We are personalized. We always identify I means this one. This is a personification of our real nature, no? So we cannot think how much you say, body consciousness comes. For extraordinary people who have advanced, those who have less body consciousness, they can deal with this aspect of the non-dual form. And that also, Hari Maharaj, Turiyananda Swami like people who are so established in their non-dual truth forever, but Hari Maharaj Swami Turiyananda used to say, ma, little rude. Look at the life, his late part of his life is talking about ma. Why do you not surrender to ma? Why are you thinking like that? Where ma comes from? His whole life, I am Brahman, I am Atman. But whenever you are in the body consciousness, you will have to say, God, the Lord, you are the master, I am the servant, you are my father, I am your child. So this relationship it integrates us. Thinking of I am Brahman is good idea, but at this stage, my Brahman and I, it means nothing, it's some void. And that it does not solve our problems of day-to-day life's problem when we are in difficulty. But it can be practiced. As we practice, we should be practiced. But we need not have to limit God, that God is only impersonal. He has no beginningless, endless, and it is only non-dual. But God can be, because He is, that's why he or she or it, whatever language you use, that too is a formless for the jnani, but bhakta, he assumes a form, like an infinite ocean, some icebergs, and the cool, when the cool snow or wind makes the water make like ice. So ice is a concrete form of the ocean. So like that. But he is formless for the jnani. That is, for him who looks on the world as a mere dream. Who can say that Brahman is alone true, unless you see that whatever happening, it is all dream. If it is dream, then why you get anxiety? If it is dream, why do you feel hungry and you restless? Why you become all this behavior in naturally what we are doing, if it is a non-dual and there is nothing but one, why do you do that? That means it is, this Ramakrishna says, he looks on the world as mere dream. In the dream, there is no reality. So whatever happening, jnani, real jnani observes, everything going on is like appearance. It has no reality, like a shadow. Like a 3D glass, I give that example. Movie hall, you go and enter, and a 3D movie you want to see, and they give you one what you call the glass, no? And you put it. And you see so many things happening around you. If children, and we also become children now, when we get involved into that scene, what is going on, you also cry out. There is one snake we all went, few sadhus from here, we went to have one such wildlife or something. So they gave us one eyeglass like that, and some children were sitting in the front with the mom and their dad, and we are sitting in behind also there are other people. It became animation, becomes so real, and suddenly we saw that it's happening everywhere, and I'm in the middle of that, and a big snake is like hissing, and it's just everyone stood up. It becomes so real. So it is so real, but it is nothing is there. Take out that glass of Maya glass, then it is nothing is there. It is only that is that, nothing to be frightened about. But this is when you are in that's why the real Vedanta student will be that who knows that this world is dream-like. It has no existence. You put your hand like that, you don't see anything. But in your eyes, they are showing you are in the middle of a jungle, and there is one side a tiger roaring, another snake, big snake is whirling around you. So this is a horrible scene, and you feel so real. That's why it is real for us. This is real. I cannot say it is mere Maya. It is what Maya? So everything is real. You look at me smilingly, I will be happy. If you look at me little scornfully, then I will be gone. It is so real to me. So that's why Sri Ramakrishna says that it is for the Jnani. But who is a Jnani? Who looks at this world as a dream appearance. And dream, as soon as you see it is there, and when you wake up from the dream, you don't see any reality of that. So similarly, to be awakened into that, from this dream, that's why there is in a mantra, there is a beautiful word, prayer for a Vedanta student, like sannyasis, monks, they say this mantra, para dushapni agam shubha, O Lord, this dushapno, this dreary dream, this is a dream. Please remove this dreary dream. It is only a dream. So that I can realize my ideal nature. So that is the point, that this for them, they are advanced in that line, and they have thought again and again, and purified their heart by pure devotion, selfless work, and all these sadhanas they have done. Then their mind is capable of grasping this idea. Otherwise it goes above the head. Intellectual joy is there, that Sankaracharya says. It is Bhagvaikari, Sabdajari, Sabdo Vakhanukausalam. Sankara says, there is a joy, intellectual joy, in debating with scholars. You say something, I say something, I find my argument, your argument, and there is a joy and fun in that type of argumentation. But not to muktaye, it will not give you liberation. How much logic you can do, logic can take you to a certain point. But logic cannot give you realization. This is the question of a heart and feeling, oneness. So how to do that? You should have to be prepared for that sadhana. So the bhakta feels that he is one entity and the world is another. Bhakta, duality. Bhakta lives in duality. Jeev, Jagat, Ishwar, three things. For a devotee and for all of us, three realities are there. One is Jiva, I am a Jiva. This Jagat, this entire universe. And who created this Ishvara, this three things are to be understood when we are. And that is our day-to-day living. We live in this, myself a Jiva, and I see this world of creation. And naturally there is some creator. So this is the bhakta feels that he is one entity and the world is another. Therefore, God reveals himself to him as a person. So that's why when bhakta wants, this God is there and I am there, so with much devotion when the bhakta, the devotee, cries and weeps and prays, the God appears tangibly as we see. Many people say darshan, seeing vision, is true. This question comes everyone, no? Everyone brings this question. I saw last night one dream. I went to a holy place or I saw some light come out, or I saw Ramakrishna walking. Every person has that different experience. Are they true or wrong? What will be the response? What do you say? Are they true? If it is true, I should feel now also. That may be one argument. Another argument is that it is true. I will say everything is true. Why? I am seeing you. How? It is true or not? Well, yes, true. But why true? Because my mind is showing you with the senses, it giving the reality of your presence. When you see the dream, is true or not? Yes or no? Yes. Because everything I see there, I am there, I see another person, I have interaction, and everything is happening. So if this is true, that is also true. If this is wrong, that is also wrong. So we cannot say that argument goes opposite way. If this is true, then dream is also true. Dream, then why does it not stay with us? It stays in our subconscious again. It goes down. It does not go anywhere. Again, it can bring up with some other additional scene to create a new dream, again new dream. But this argument can be put in this way: if that is dream, this is also dream. So why you give so much value to this day-to-day happening, what is happening? Pass on. In the dream also, you go through the experience, that's all. But why now you become so serious about it? Let it go pass. On another side, yes, everything you see is true, because everywhere there is the presence of the mind. The mind is impure mind or pure mind? These are the questions. Impure to pure, there is a range, there is a progress. As the mind becomes purer, you see purer dreams. You see holy people, you see gone to a temple, you are seeing something, some additional spiritual energy you get. Sometimes people have the vision also. So that we call vision. Vision is true or not? I say yes, true. But don't get stuck. That is a vision in the particular state of mind. And another mood of mind, Ramakrishna is to go to plane of experiences. Why? His mind was soaring high. Sri Ramakrishna gave the example when he met Swami Vivekananda in the Saptarshi Loka, in the plane. What he said? So I saw my mind soaring high and high. It is going on in the path of light. That was his description. His mind is soaring high in the higher plane. And he said, and he's going in such a plane that we saw gods and goddesses are there. Mind left that plane and went higher up. And then he said, there is a plane where there is no other existence, almost non-dual. There is such a rarefied state, the gods and goddesses have no power to enter there. That means it is much finer, purer state. And he said, there 7 sages were meditating as if merged into the consciousness of the Absolute. And then so he is describing, these are all the different levels of journey into the spiritual level. So any experience, everything is true. If you say true, everything is true. If you say no, your vision is also no. That's why to the Vedanta student, Bhakto will be excited. If in the dream I see tomorrow or tonight that Holy Mother came and he is blessing me and this and I will be excited, no? But Vedanta will say, it's good, but don't care about that. Because this is also a vision. Your mind is there. Mind should totally collapse. And you will feel that infinite oneness with the divine. So for Vedanta student, that's why Sri Ramakrishna said, he who is Rama, he who is Krishna, he is Ramakrishna. He could have ended there, but he added one small line, but not according to your Vedanta. Understand this point? If you say Vedanta, Vedanta is non-dual. Avatars are also mental. You're in a level of, maybe purer mind is showing you that. Impure mind shows the world. Purer mind shows God's presence in the avatar. Or avatar comes, you can see that. But Vedanta does not accept avatar even. Real Vedanta or non-dual absolute Vedanta, Ajatavad and something, this is not created at all. What you see, all hallucination, all dream. We're seeing dream. And don't get so much, don't put so much value to the dream, which you ignore every night. So why are you giving so much value to this dream world? So that's why Sri Ramakrishna is reconciling this idea. For the Jnani it is possible. But a bhakta wants to have a concrete relationship with God. And through this discrimination, applying the process, it is therefore God reveals himself to him as a person, as a devotee. But the Jnani, that means the Vedantist, they always reason. And their reasoning is that applying the process of not this, not this. Whatever comes, not this. Whatever, even divine form comes, not this. There is if we look at the Ramakrishna's life, we can understand the fine intricacies of these statements. Ramakrishna's life himself. See what he said. Totapuri gave him the practice of monastic experience. That means he gave the sannyas, no? And when he got it, his mind was going up. And it went into this plane, and he complained, oh, I cannot think that I am that. Well, why you are not? My mind is not going to that, then Ma is coming. Because she worshipped God as mother so many days, and Ma is not like us. We are talking only Ma. But she can see palpably, he can see the presence of mother walking, guiding, and giving direction for every movement of life. And that mother is coming, smiling, cheerful, joyful. And then I cannot go beyond that. Then Totapuri, what he said? What? Concentrate here, and then punch with a piece of glass bead. And then say, concentrate. And Sri Ramakrishna said, then, making knowledge as a sword, I cut the mother, and the mind shoot up into the absolute, merged into samadhi. So Jnani is living in that state where even all forms must have to go away. They are non-dual. Otherwise duality remains. Up to this point duality remains.
And there you have that two-petal lotus.
What?
Two-petal lotus.
Two-petal lotus. Yeah. But that is the last point. And then they go to the Sahasrara, they say that the individual soul merges permanently. And Ramakrishna went into that samadhi and stayed there for hours and hours and hours. That's the time Totapuri said, what a miracle. Huh? It took 40 years for me, and he finished it in a short period. And he crossed it. So what my point of focus is here, that a state comes when you can cross the avatara or all the divine form that can be totally abolished in a point when it merges into the infinite. So now that even I was reading that Sri Chaitanya saying, what is the ultimate truth of bhakti? Chaitanya Dev went into South India, and Rai Ramananda was a great scholar, and he was also a minister ruling the country. But he was a highly devotional and knowledgeable person. He knows about bhakti, all the stages of bhakti and what it leads. So Mahaprabhu went there, Sri Chaitanya went there and asked, what are the means to realize God? Tell me, step by step. And he asked, follow your discipline of the duties, and then doing duty, start unselfish work, you do so much, then your duty will drop, then love for God will grow, then you will attain to this stage, this stage. And last stage was then Radha Krishna, that duality, that divine being, that presence will be felt. Then he said, Sri Chaitanya said, Eho hoy, yes, this is also the state of mind. One can go and live in that highest plane, almost absolute purity and absolute state of almost oneness, merging and not merging that state. Eho hoy, age kahoar. Tell me something, if there is any further you can talk. Then that Rai Ramananda used a very beautiful word. There is a state. There is a state beyond all description. How? Na so Ramana, na hama Ramani, duhu mili eka peshalajani. Here is Radha Krishna, the intense love of the jiva for the extreme union with the Supreme Paramatman, and that two identity merges into one. Here is the relationship is called the Lord, God, my beloved Lord, and me. These two, Naham Ramani, I am not a Radha, you are not a Krishna, but Duhumili Eka, two merges into one, and it becomes absolute non-dual reality. So, see, bhakti ends in that. But till you are in the level, not in that level, Bhakta does not want to merge like that. Ramakrishna said, what he said, I want to taste the sugar. I don't want to be sugar. So that's, but we don't understand, these are all very high plane. We read this and try to intellectualize something. But there is a point, bhakti will lead the same place, but its sadhana is different. It keeping this distinction between the God, Lord, and the person who is doing spiritual practice. So, but Vedanta will always apply the process of not this, not this. Even they say God comes in the form of divine form, get out. Mahakali came, what he was crying and weeping whole lives, make this sadhana of visiting Mother Kali, Oh Ma, please appear, and crying and weeping. And now she says, and he took a sword in hand, sword of discrimination, not a sword, real sword, discrimination. Who is Ma Kali? Ma is the Brahman itself. That is the sword of discrimination, not this form even. You are talking about the form, this form even is not true. Last form, merging before the absolute, that is not also true. Then you have to go above that. So not this, not this. To this discrimination, he realizes by his inner perception that the ego and the universe are both illusory. That at that point one understands, my ego, I who was thinking of God, and the universe in which all the creation, and in that creation there are gods and goddesses and avatars and whatever, all are illusion. I am illusion, this is illusion. So what remains, that remains. It's a very deep philosophy here.
So there was a point at which Ramakrishna went into samadhi for 6 months or so. Was that soon after this point, or was it a long?
Oh, it is afterwards.
Long afterwards.
Long afterwards.
So Todapuri didn't actually put him in a state where he went into this.
He had his, I think Sri Ramakrishna had that when he totally, we hear that Sri Ramakrishna, first experience of the Divine Mother, he lost his outer consciousness when he was taking the sword to cut himself, and then fell in the floor of the Dakshineshwar temple. And everyone came and found that he is almost dead, no pulse, nothing. So they carried him into the Ramakrishna's room, and he stayed there that day, and the next day he was in that state. People say he was unconscious. And now in what state of the mind he was, probably it is Swami Sarvadevananda says, he was merged into the Absolute and stayed there for 24 hours almost. And then he came back, brought the mind down to the plane of prayer. And also, Sarvadevananda Swami said, probably he saw mother while coming down at that tangible mother. That mother who cut, he had to cut by analysis that this is not the form, this is not the last word of mother. Mother has another entity beyond form. And then when coming back again, it's like a threshold. It went on this side, absorbed in the infinite ocean, and in this coming back from here, threshold, the Divine Mother again appeared there. And then as long as he walked in the dual level, there is the duality of Mother's presence and things. And seeing Mother everywhere, that happened. So, yeah, this experience came much later also. I do not know, Arupeshananda, can you help? Where Thakur had that 6 months, can you help? 6 months Thakur was in Jala Samadhi, and the birds used to pick something. When it happened? Dokhineshwar, but after, yeah, I think, as I assume, it is after this Totapuri incident or before Totapuri. That's he's asking. Okay. So we'll keep it for future study to find out when. Now, then the Jnani realizes Brahman in his own consciousness. He cannot describe what Brahman is. Do you know what I mean? Think of Brahman, existence, knowledge and bliss absolute, as a shoreless ocean. So he is giving an idea, Sri Ramakrishna says, it is what you know. What is Brahman like? It is absolute consciousness, absolute blissfulness and absolute existence. And it is as you think of an ocean, every ocean has a shoreline. But think there is no shore, shoreless ocean.
It happened before Totapuri came, because Totapuri came even after Bhairavi Brahmani came. And before Bhairavi Brahmani came, Sri Ramakrishna was weeping on the ground and crying and doing all these things. And then that time he was, Mother, give me your vision and all these things. And then that time people were thinking that probably he lost his mother and that is why he's weeping so much. So all those sadhana were done before Bhairavi Brahmani came, and he had the vision of Divine Mother on his own way.
No, it is samadhi. 6 months remaining in that state is the question.
That time only he had that, and that time Vijayaram was taking care, and that old sadhu, suddenly some person came and was feeding him a morsel of food, and that some ate the body. And Totapuri came towards the end.
Okay. Then your argument comes that it is already he had 6 months. Let us see. That's maybe that was the
Bhairavi Brahmani 1860 and Totapuri 1870, and that one was almost towards the end of Sri Ramakrishna's sadhana.
Okay, so that may be possible. But he has already then have that state of absorption. But it is verified by Totapuri. All the gurus...
Great Master says different.
What did he say?
After the departure of Totapuri, Sri Ramakrishna remained for 6 months in a state of absolute identity with Brahman. So it's after Totapuri.
Then Great Master. Yeah, Great Master.
No, actually, no, it's from Gospel Introduction.
Nikhilananda's
introduction to
Acha. Also, we can check on the Great Master. It is likely because that time when Totapuri came, after Totapuri Anyhow, because it is not chronologically recorded that way. And so he said, you want to think of Brahman? Think that infinite ocean who is made of three things. As if it is eternal reality, it is a reality all the time. And reality is not the matter, but it's consciousness. And consciousness is mixed with ananda, joy. Like I give the example, we heard from the sadhus the example of the lamp. Lamp is it not? No one needs to think about this question. We can say the lamp is there, is the existence. It is existence, but it is also light. So you can say it is light. But light also has heat. I may not feel it here, being further away, but if I go close and touch the bulb, I can feel the heat there. So, Satchidananda is the three way of explaining Brahman. It is absolutely all the time there. It's absolutely consciousness and nothing else. And it is absolutely joy and bliss. How to express that? They have used the three words. But Brahman cannot be defined by words. If you define it again, it becomes... So you think, meditating on Brahman means you to think in a soulless ocean. Ocean, as much as you go every direction, it is only that Satchidananda. It is the absolute existence, absolute consciousness, absolute blissfulness. So this is the way of Vedantic. But through the cooling influence, as it were, the bhakta's love. What is the cooling agent? It is the love of devotion, of the devotee. And with that love, the water has frozen at places into blocks of ice. Beautiful idea. Suppose you are an infinite ocean and a cool breeze, and cool breeze, that is the love of the devotee, that infinite ocean freezes into some places. Then you can hold concrete. You can feel the cool. That is the Saguna Darshan. So Bhakta wants to have that type of experience. And God now, in other words, God now and then assumes various forms for his lovers and reveals himself to them as a person. So God appears. This is not, if you say God is truth, yes, absolute truth is there is no God, no I. Neither you, neither God, neither world, all gone. But if we so much I remains, that there is a Creator God remains, and that Creator God can be seen. How it happens? To satisfy our understanding, Ramakrishna said, it is like a freezing cold water, a air, love of bhakti. By the intensity of the love, bhaktas cry and sincere prayer, the infinite God assumes a human form. So that is the way personal God comes into existence. But with the rising of the sun of knowledge, the block of ice melts also, no? So you can think that, if a bhakta sees God in the form, can he not get the knowledge of the absolute oneness? Brahmajnana? Yes. When that bhakti matures, as I asked, as we just referred to Sri Chaitanya's life, that saying that the that distinction between the world, myself and the God is just merges, then it will be the ultimate knowledge. So bhakti will lead to that point. But bhakta's path is sweeter path. And bhakta wants to see concrete God's form in concrete. But that concrete form, that's why I say symbol. Symbol means what? We have to understand the word symbol and symbology. suppose you keep a photograph of your dad. Dad's photograph is a paper and some ink on it. Paper and ink. So, for another person, any one person, it is a paper and ink. But when you look at it, the photograph, what is it? It is your father. It reminds you of your father, your love of your father, or whatever the relationship you have. So symbols are like that, symbologies are like that. These are not God, but it reminds you of the infinite. As if infinite has been condensed there. That is the idea. The snow, the ocean water, limitless ocean water, freezing cold, make ice. So it is like that. Seeing the ice, you can assume how big is the ocean, and you can merge into that, this infinity. So this is the just some idea Ramakrishna gives to reconcile this, how God in the form and God in the formless are not contradictory. Bhakta looks at that way, he wants to see that way. But Vedanta student does not want that to see that form. They want to be one, absolute, all the time. So hum, so hum, so hum. I am that, I am that, I am that. And Bhakta says, nahang, nahang, tuhu, tuhu, not me, sir, you are, I am your servant, I am your child, I am your friend, I am your dasa, no? So they want to have this relationship. And in relationship you can enjoy, and also you can feel the human, we are human beings, so we have our human emotions. So connection is there, joy, separation is there, then pain, but again joy. So this is the dual play of the God and the God's devotee play in this dual role. And there is a great joy. They live the whole life in that particular mood. So that is the devotee's attitude. So God is a person, then one does not feel anymore that God when the knowledge, sun of knowledge comes, the blocks of ice melts, then one does not feel anymore that God is a person. Not as one sees God's form. What He is cannot be described. Who will describe Him? He who do so disappears. He cannot find his I anymore. So this question is that so long we have our I, this dualistic practice can be done, but this I will automatically merge. In absorption, one is really, it is bhava, mahabhava we are talking about the other day. Bhava means spiritual mood taking you to absorption. You love, you think of your beloved, and your mind becomes more indrawn, and the entire world falls off. You live in your own inner world, and inner world you and the beloved, and it becomes so intimate, you lose your identity there. So that is the state of oneness. Automatically come. All relationship ends in oneness, is it not? The culmination of all relationship is what? The oneness. So this though devotion, but ultimately it is the absolute merging and losing your ego. Bhakta loses his ego. This is the two way of explaining. Bhakta, as a devotee, we have to lose, I am nothing, I am yours, O Lord. And Vedanta, I is this big. Go as much as you go, everywhere I. This I is a big I, pakami, ripened I. And this I is a small I, petty I. With the petty eye, you can play with the big eye. But when the petty eye merges into the big eye, then what will happen? You are dead. Bhakta dies. Bhakta cannot live anymore. And Vedanta students also die, because they have no identity with the body. So the end result being the same, two path only leads. And they say, no conflict. Rather, one should follow their own path and practice so that the ultimate end result will come, absorption. It's called Jivan Mukti and Parabhakti. So Radha Krishna merging, say Mirabai, singing of the glories of the Krishna, 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 Krishna. Whole world vanishes for her and she's totally absorbed inside and gone. Rumi, oneness comes. Then someone is knocking from the door, who? Huh? Then he says, I. The door didn't open. No, Swamiji said, no. And then knock. Then when he say, not I know. You, I know. It is not I, it is you. And the door opened. And merging. That means Bhakta merges into the divine, Jnani merges into the divine, process is too different, approach is different, and the ultimate goal is Satchidananda Self.
Do you want to say the chronology?
Prashna.
No, chronology. This chronology, because he's like, what is it, like that, 64, 66 and chronology.
Chronology, yeah.
Contradict?
Yeah, you are right. 1864, Sri Ramakrishna's practice of Vatsalya Bhava under Jatadhari, practice of Madhura Bhava, initiation into sannyasa by Totapuri, 1864. 1865, Ramakrishna's nephew passed away, Totapuri leaves Dakshineshwar. 1866, Ramakrishna in the Advaita plane for 6 months. And then practice of Islam, 1866. So that is very natural because what happened, afterwards he died, Mathur Babu died. After that, Totapuri period gone, then Mathur Babu passed away and Ramakrishna's condition became very bad because by that time Mathur's son threw away the Hridaya and no one to look after for Sri Ramakrishna. And that is the time when he was, his body is in the, no one to take care of his body. So that is the 6 months he lived. So it's clear. Bah.
What is that?
Ramakrishna Vivekananda Info.
It's a great master.
This is chronology. You can have that.
Yeah,
You just type Ramakrishna chronology.
Great master. Yeah, at the end there's a chronology.
It was done by, I think, who did this?
The same volunteer, I don't know.
No, I think that it is probably our mom. Concordance, no?
Oh, Prasanna.
Ah.
That was for gospel.
Yeah, gospel. No, concordance is done by maybe, okay, I don't know. So, if one analyzes oneself, one does not find any such thing as I. Take an onion, for instance. First of all, you peel off the red outer skin. Then you find thick white skin. Peel these off one after another and you won't find anything inside. So we are proud of our I. What is I? Peel up. I the body, peel up. I the mind, peel up. I the mind, intellect. I the mind, ego, peel up. Then what will remain? Who will say what remains? As in given the Ramakrishna gave a very practical example of an onion. If we peel up layers and layers of onion, ultimately what remains? Nothing. But that is the thing. That was there, space was there, space is there, space will be there. Only it was covered by some layers of onion peels, no? So this is the same consciousness will remain, only it is all layers of ignorance. I am the body, I am intelligent, I am non-intelligent, I am whatever, my understanding, my this, my, this is the only, and it is all useless, worthless. If you throw away, then what will remain? The truth will remain. Misconception will go. Ramakrishna's suggestion that can be very much matched with the Panchakosha. five sheath idea, everyday Vedantic sadhana. I am not the body, not the mind, not the intellect, not the ego, no? So it's a peeling off. To think that it is only the outer coating only. Actually, body is the outer coating, no? Mind, we can understand our mind is somewhere inside. I am seeing through the layer of the mind behind, mind being behind, I can see. So anyhow, so this pipe peeling off is a panchakosha vichara, the discrimination of the five sheaths which covers our self. In that state, peeling off, then what happens? In that case, in that state, a man no longer finds the existence of his ego. As Ramakrishna could not say I, that is an example. Even that he said, I could not find my I. Swami Vivekananda in this country, he was pacing back and forth, and standing before the mirror, the big mirror, and was looking at him intently with the eyes and back and forth. So who was the lady? She said, Waldo. Oh, yes, Waldo. She thought that Swami says, I am Atman, I am Brahman, but see, he's all watching how beautiful is he. Standing before the mirror and seeing how for a long time, and then again turning back, and again coming and standing before the mirror for a long time, and again goes. And then she got some point, but then Swamiji himself said, I was trying to think of my face, but I cannot remember my face even as soon as I turn. No ego, identity. That's the ideal condition of Brahma Jnana, that they don't identify with the body. Though they live in the body, they don't identify with the body, but with the spirit. In such an intense normal practice that standing before the mirror, within turning the face, he's forgetting how he looked. So that is the egolessness. So here Sri Ramakrishna says, in that state, a man no longer finds the existence of his ego. He cannot find out where is the ego. That's why Vedanta says his ego spreads everywhere. He finds himself everywhere. In the Song of Sannyasi, what do you say? I have become all, no? What is the last line?
The I has all become bliss.
I have all become in bliss. So I am that. And who is there left to seek it? Who can describe how he feels in that state, in his own pure consciousness, about the real nature of Brahman? Who will say, if there is no ego, I is gone, who will say, my I is there, I can say, you are there. I saw you sitting over there. I saw you coming into the door. I saw you going out of the temple. I can say that because I is there. If I is dead, what will you do? Suppose in a deep sleep state, when we sleep, things may happen in this room, but you will not be knowing anything. So long I is functioning, the entire world remains. And I is gone, everything is lost in the duality. And it is now this small I has merged into the infinite I. So then he cannot find the little I anywhere. That's why Swami Vivekananda and say Christ, they used to suffer for the suffering of all, because their I extended in all. Everyone's suffering is his suffering. Everyone's joy is his joy, when in a body level. But when in transcendental level, who will feel what? There is nothing. And from this state only people can say, there is no one is slain, no one is slain. No one can kill. Fire cannot burn, this water cannot soak. These are all philosophy, goes in that beyond I level. When there are small I still functioning, all this experience of dual world will remain. Maybe earthly level, in a heavenly level, or higher level, whatever level, existence, that something will be there so long I is there. Impure I or purer I, purer I, purer I. So we need to, that's why Ramakrishna said, Shuddha mon, Shuddha buddhi, Shuddha atma one. Shuddha mon, if your mind is pure, then your buddhi, understanding is clear, automatic. And that means you are Atman, you live in the pure consciousness. So it is all related to I. Ramakrishna used to sing, Ami mole, if I, this quote and unquote I, dies, then all the rubbish, all the troubles of life will be gone. And see, the whole world is I, fight of I, no? Huh? I saying Putin, I saying our boss. This I versus that I. In our day-to-day life also, I. All conflict, I. If it goes to thou, I am Ramakrishna's, you are Ramakrishna's. So we become both servant. We have no fight. But I, you, I. So whose I is better I? Of course mine. So in that state, a man no longer finds the existence of his ego, and who is there left to seek it? Who can describe how he feels in that state of egolessness, in his own pure consciousness, about the real nature of Brahman? Once a salt doll went to measure the depth of the ocean. No sooner was it in the water than it melted. Now, who was to tell the depth of the ocean? We want to measure how Brahman is big. How big is that? Brahman word came from the root called Brinha. Brinha means that which is big, that which is endless, that which is super. So how big is that? Ramakrishna's another story, the frog story, the ocean frog and the whale frog. We live in our own small well. I have my idea about my ego, I have my idea about God. But the ocean frog comes and he says, it is much bigger, much bigger. Huh? Much bigger than me, much bigger than me. And then one day you die. When the frog dies, giving a big jump, and he dead, then he understood this ocean cannot be measured, ocean cannot be fathomed, God cannot be measured. When the I will die. With the I, we start to understand how big is Brahman, how big is that, what is God like, no? And when the mind becomes pure and pure and pure, it loses its capacity of the mind character of the mind. And then what it understands? It is abang manasa gocharam. It is beyond Bach, speech, beyond mind, beyond all expressions. So that is the reality. And the salt doll then melts into the ocean of existence and knowledge, bliss absolute, and becomes one with it. Not the slightest trace of distinction is left. As long as his self-analysis is not complete, man argues with much ado, but he becomes silent when he completes it. So people, we as a human being, we may argue to understand this philosophy, that philosophy. That's good. But it will continue. But when he becomes silent, when he completes all the arguments, no analysis can find the God intellectually. When the empty pitcher has been filled with water, when the water inside the pitcher becomes one with the water of the lake outside, no more sound is heard. So empty pitcher has been filled with water and it makes a sound, no, at the beginning. That means empty vessel, what is the proverb? Empty vessels? Sounds? Anyhow, there is a proverb. Empty vessel sounds much. And when the vessel becomes full, it does not make any noise. So this is the thing. Ego, so empty. That's why all big sound. One with water, like sound comes from the pitcher as long as the pitcher is not filled with water. Okay, so we can end here. So what we learn, that to kill our ego. But kill our ego, drown it in Satchidananda. Drowning into the nectar of bliss. No. Rather, killing does not mean take a sword and kill yourself. That will not solve the problem. There is a story that one devotee, he thought that he is like Ramakrishna. So he wanted to cry and say, "Ma, you will have to give now." Ramakrishna said, "You cry." And then, so he tried few days, and he was going to take the sword and to kill. It will only kill means you will bleed yourself. God will not come there. That will be your disaster. So, Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Panamastu. So tomorrow, please come again. Philip Goldsberg will be speaking here on his book, Karma. So 7:30 to 8:30. Achha, so question has come quickly. Let me see if we can discuss. What is the reason we are told to meditate on the heart and not forehead? Totapuri also pierced between the eyes. Please help us understand the difference between the heart and the forehead. Forehead means it is the sixth chakra. According to chakra, it is the sixth plane. And this the seventh plane is the top. And top plane mind goes samadhi. So will you start from the beginning to jump into the highest Everest mountain? You want to reach the top of the Everest, but will you make it first? You are a student. You jump from here, just go to 10,000 feet height. How will you go? You are not capable of going. You will only break your arms. So therefore, we have to start with the chakra. Our Ramakrishna said, normal people in the world live in the lower three chakras. Fourth chakra is the heart chakra. So first try to stabilize there, and then it is a power, it is energy. You cannot hold it, you don't play with that. People do meditate here. Maybe some people are capable, but many people get headache. Many people had so many side reactions. That because our nervous system is not ready to absorb those type of higher thought currents. So better to do, that's why Guru and the Upanishad, we read yesterday the Upanishad in the heart, talked about Sri Ramakrishna in the whole Gospel. If it is beneficial for that to meditate here, Ramakrishna would have suggested who is better person to suggest in spiritual life rather than Ramakrishna. So they suggest Upanishad. They are our friends. Their Upanishad is called like our mother. For the good of us, all of us say, Hrida Manasa Abhiklishta Jayetad Viduhu Amritaste Bhavanti. They become Amrita, they become nectar. Those meditate in the heart chakra and grow. So that is the, first of all, that is the support of the Upanishad, support of the holy people, support of the people who have realized. And moreover, logically, 7 chakras are there. We should go from 3rd floor to 4th floor. Then go to the 5th floor. You cannot just ignore the other 2 floors and jump into the 7th floor. So it is not possible. You can do with some method, but reaction will be there. But why not move smoothly, joyfully, cheerfully? That's why. Another, we see holy dreams, and then if we see worldly dreams, does that indicate that the mind is moving from pure to impure? Yes, of course. Of course, mind is moving all the time pure to impure. And definition of pure or impure is up to you and me. What is pure? When you see God, think God, that's pure. And everything is impure. Your eating is impure, your dressing is impure, your talking is impure. So from that perspective, impure is, everything is impure excepting God. So if you make it this simple formula, so think of God, then it's become pure. As much as other things should to be done, It is to be lesson and lesson and lesson, and make it more God-centered, God-centered, God-centered. So it will be all pure. Yes, mind moves into that's true. The glass is hazy and glass is clear. Does it not make distinction? The reading time we can understand. A little dart is there and you read how it becomes strenuous. No? So cleaning the mind is the spiritual life. And yes, pure mind is there, impure mind. But simply to think where godliness is manifested, that is pure. Truth, godliness, peace, joy, abhaya, fearlessness, those are the sign of pure mind. Another question, my Guru encourages us to spend the night meditating and not sleeping. Does Vedanta also encourage students to stay awake at night and meditate? If your Guru says, I have nobody to say anything there, because Guru is the last word in our spiritual life. But we as ordinary person know that yes, you can meditate whole day, whole night, if you are so pure. Your whole day you are not stressed out. You keep the calm, your God-centered mind, and you sit in the meditation and you find joy, more joy, more joy. Joy is pulling you. Not you are fighting with the sleep and the back is hurting, neck is hurting. But to effort, we should do little effort. It's good to meditate maybe for half an hour, 1 hour, for us, ordinary people. Extraordinary people, I cannot say, as I said, your Guru has said, follow that. But for a general discussion, I am saying, it is not good. Because we will be sleepless night. You will not get a good sleep, and you have to work next day, and then next day, it will be accumulating effect. But you can gradually increase your meditation little by little. Yes, try for midnight meditation, maybe half an hour in the morning. Many of our sadhus do that. Go to bed maybe 10 o'clock, then wake up after 1 or 2, or if they want to have a glass of water to drink or go to bath, they utilize that time. Our Sahananda Swami we have seen, last part, when he used to wake up for drinking water, going to restroom, then coming out, he will take the rosary and do some time. This is a natural thing, so that it soaks, and a time will come when you find so much joy inside. Yes, you can do that. Because we don't need sleep. Sleep is to find joy. If your mind finds joy, you don't need sleep. And when the mind thinks of God and you are in joyful mood, that is a blissful state. And there's more than, that's why yogis don't need to sleep. Yogis don't need to eat so much. Very little food is sufficient for them. But we live a different type of lifestyle. Our duties and responsibilities are different. Whole day you work, stressed out, and with that you can do the whole night. It will be too much. But it depends on the individual. Okay? Thank you all. Jai Ma. So please come tomorrow.